What's the one thing that can stop us from forward progress when we're working on a project or our day to day work? Yes, conflict. Sometimes conflict stops us right in our tracks. Sometimes it hampers us. Sometimes it pushes us back for days, sometimes even weeks, depending on the level of conflict. Hi, my name is Al Batinga, and I'm with Deanna Mendeville, and we represent CCS Learning Academy, an upskilling organization that helps move your skills forward and up as you continue to compete in the marketplace. So, what we're going to talk about today is conflict resolution and providing feedback. We put those two, they're very closely related, they're cousins for all practical purposes. And it's a big, huge topic, conflict resolution, providing feedback. So I'm going to show you a PowerPoint and we're going to give a 10,000-foot view and let's talk about it. So first and foremost, again, conflict resolution and providing feedback, Deanna and Al, and we are part of the CCS Learning Academy team, and we upskill and we support your efforts moving forward. So let's talk about this topic, right? So the very first topic we're going to talk about is what is conflict. Now, you and I know the definition could be something simple or more elaborate. And one of the things that we do as an organization is our workshops are very interactive. So we want feedback from everybody. The easy use of conflict definition is when you and I don't see eye to eye, right? And it's not necessarily conflict because maybe we don't deem it necessary to stopping what we're doing, or it's something that doesn't mean anything. Well, when the conflict opportunity happens, or when the conflict is real, then again, it can stop us. So we're going to discuss what is conflict. What is conflict in the workplace? And we're going to talk about why do we have conflict. And I have to tell you this concept, constructive conflict can be the best thing ever in a workplace. Now, you notice I added a word in front of it, right? Constructive conflict, because you really do learn, if you can, if you're open on why we're conflicting and what's happening. And maybe it's our understanding, maybe it's the definition, maybe it's my experience, your experience, all of the above. And it's a good thing to resolve conflict, and it's exciting to do it. And if you look at constructive conflict in a positive manner, there's no learning lessons like it. It is such a good thing to work and walk through conflict. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what traits and tools do we need to resolve conflict. So if you were to think about the easy concept of resolving conflict, well, I need patience. I need high level of communication skills. I need negotiation skills. I need teamwork, right? I mean, there's a bunch of skills that we're going to talk about in class, and these are just 2 or 3 or 4 of those skills that we need. Now, let's jump into what are the tools we need. Well, sometimes if conflict escalates, we might need a mediator, somebody with a no skin in the game concept who can resolve the conflict. A whiteboard can be a tool. Maybe we're going to list the facts side by side so we can take a look at it. Our computers can be a tool. Some software could be a tool. So when you have traits and tools, you now have the opportunity to solve at a higher level, faster level, less resource level, simply because you're utilizing tools, you're utilizing your traits. We're going to talk about the concept of what's in it for me. When you invest your day into training of any kind of sorts, that's one of the best questions to ask. What's in it for me? Why do I want to learn how to resolve conflicts? What do I need to provide feedback or to receive feedback? Now, you and I, we can see clearly why we need to resolve conflicts. We can clearly see why we need to provide and receive feedback, right? But it's something that we develop in class, and we go after best practices, which we'll talk about in a moment. And here's a great question. What stops us from resolving conflict? Sometimes conflict will go on for weeks and even months without resolution. There's lots of reasons, right? Sometimes it's not worth my time, or at least I deem it to be, not understanding that we're not working at any place near capacity because you're having to tiptoe around me, or I'm not communicating from an overall perspective because I'm conflicted with you, right? And so we really need to look at what is the real cost of conflict. And so what does stop us from resolving conflict? A lot of reasons. We're going to have a group discussion and let's banter about this. What stops us from providing feedback? I have to tell you, feedback is breakfast of champions. I know it sounds cliche. I know you've heard it 100 times, but think of an athlete. All right. I want you to pause. I don't care what sport it is. In practice, they will get feedback sometimes every minute, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes won't go by without some feedback, some constructive thoughts to help them play and move forward. Well, what about us? We're in business. We're competing in the marketplace. We need to do better today than we were yesterday. How come we don't get that kind of constructive conflict? Lots of reasons, right? People are busy, they're running, people don't like to give feedback, they don't want to hurt your feelings. You don't take feedback very well, and it's already shown, right? There's a lot of reasons. And we're going to work through that in class because having an open mind to feedback and also an open mind to providing feedback is invaluable in the marketplace. Then we're going to work on the concept of best practices. Whenever you're in an organization, you are by default providing and utilizing best practices, which means it's the best way, process-wise, to do something. Now, here's the fact. Over time, it erodes. It will erode. And that best practice today might not be the one in 3 months, but you don't change it unless you continuously look at it. And you're asking, is this the real best way to do this? So best practice is not a destination. It is a journey, right? Which changes on a regular basis. Let's talk about that in class. And then we also want to have best practices from providing feedback. I want to provide feedback for you at the highest level. I want to receive feedback from me at the highest level. It is a skill. And it's also courage, not only to receive it, but to provide it. Because on both sides, you have an opportunity for this concept of rejection. And it's something that we want to minimize that, maximize what feedback provides. So we're going to use one example, right? We're going to use an example. Now, many of you have heard of the book, Crucial Conversations, right? So Crucial Conversations has a very good 5-state mode. They call it state mode, 5 steps that really gives you the opportunity to get everything out from a conflict perspective. So let's do that for just a few moments here. Number 1 is you share the facts. And that is couched with the understanding that if it's not a fact, don't share it. We just want to share facts, right? If facts are verified, then we know it's correct. And so now we have something to work for, work toward, work with from a factual perspective. We want to tell your story. After you give us the facts, tell us your story, and you can share the assumptions that you made, and we're going to listen in, right? If you and I are in a conflict, for instance, or there's 5 of us. And then now you give me the opportunity to provide my path and my thoughts. Give me the opportunity to tell my side of the story. So if you are a fan of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, like I am, there's a concept called number 5, 5th habit of 7 highly effective people. And it's the habit is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Think about that for a moment. Seek first to understand, then, I'm going to add some words in here, and only then to be understood. Think about how many conflicts would go away if we followed that 5th habit of highly effective people. We want to talk tentatively. Remind yourself that your assumptions are not facts. I assumed you were angry. I looked at you and I thought you were angry. That's not a fact. That's an assumption. And we have to put that into the assumption bucket, right? Those are discussions that we're going to have. And last but not least, we want to encourage testing. Encourage the other person to tell their viewpoint, even if it is opposite from yours. And so this is a method from Crucial Conversations that says, let's get everything on the table. And I talked about in earlier where you could actually put this on a whiteboard, right? Where you're stating facts, where you can look at it objectively, hopefully objectively. Anyways, this is part of our workshop, right? We're going to have major discussions. Our workshops are very interactive. We want feedback. I want you to challenge me as the trainer. Now, I don't know if it works like that in our organization. Our conflicts, for whatever reason, always go in this direction. So I don't know if the state mode will fulfill that. Great, let's talk about it. At the end of it, I will say, yep, you're right. This won't work for you. Or you may say, you know what? I don't think it's going to work, but how about if I try it for 30 days? Now we're talking. Right now we're moving forward. So as I wrap this short conversation about conflict resolution and providing and receiving feedback, I am so excited to have you for class, right? We want you to join us and to upskill and to learn and to be encouraged by us and inspired by us as we help you understand how to resolve conflicts at the highest level, as well as to receive and provide feedback. Again, from Deanna Mendeville, Albertinga, CCS Learning Academy, have a great day.